Hey guys, CDTVThaG here, and the G of course stands for guy who has so many albums to react to before 2019 ends. Because end of year list time is coming up very soon, it's December, and I want to hear these albums before I do my end of year lists. But for today, I'm going to be reacting to the new project that just dropped from Smokepurpp called Deadstar 2. Smokepurpp is a bit of a weird artist for me because I was really interested in him when I first heard his music. I thought he had a lot of potential. I went back to the first Deadstar project recently and it sounds like so much better, in my opinion, compared to what he's been dropping recently. Like I said, I felt like he had a lot of potential. He sounded like he was kind of working out his own sound, but then on the stuff he's dropped recently, I just feel like Smokepurpp hasn't sounded like himself in about 2 years. He dropped his Lost Planet project earlier this year, and that one, I just wasn't a fan of it at all because I felt like on most tracks, he just sounded like he was trying to be comethazine. I'm hoping that this project is going to be different. I really want to like it, but I don't know if I will because I've heard 2 of the 3 singles that he's dropped from this one, and those were Stevie and Dirty Dirty. Stevie, he just sounded like DaBaby on that track, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong. Dirty Dirty featuring Lil Skies, that one was better. It's actually a really catchy song, but also a big part of me feels like Smokepurpp does sound quite a bit like Travis Scott on that song. Like, he sounds like he's doing a Travis Scott impression. So basically what I'm trying to say is hopefully this is a project that doesn't just sound like it's trying to imitate other artists. Let's just get into it and see what we're in for. Track number 1, The Matrix. Here we go. This is the track that's going to set the tone for the project.
All this shit can fall apart. It can fall apart. No, we built this from the start.
Did someone say Astroworld?
We don't start a matrix. Everything expensive, nothing basic. Model bitches turning up the naked.
I don't want to just compare it, but it sounds so similar to the way that Travis Scott's vocals are mixed and mastered. Like, not just the auto-tune, but the actual, like, reverb on his vocals as well. To me personally, at least, it's kind of distracting. It takes away from the songs quite a bit when I'm thinking, oh, this just sounds like a knockoff version of someone else.
And I'm still busting out the bank, bitch. He gon' say that when the heat room. Fall apart. It can fall apart.
What is that synth? And why is it so loud? Why is that synth so loud?
We gotta meet outside the matrix.
It's well produced, I can give it that for sure. It does have a nice beat to it. Yeah, it's really hard to not make the Travis Scott comparison. It sounds really like that's what Smokepurpp was trying to sound like on this track. It's not a bad sounding track, but I feel like it just sounds uninspired. Production was pretty nice. There was nothing necessarily wrong with the way that Smokepurpp delivered his vocals. It's just the fact it sounded like someone else. I feel like I won't necessarily have a whole lot to say about these tracks if there are a bunch of ones that sound like other artists. It was okay, but not really a song that I care for. So let's move on to the next one. Track number 2, Red Bottoms. Okay, I like the vibe this one has going for it. The 2 tracks that there have been on this so far, they've had this very kind of like outer space, kind of alien feel to them, and I do like that kind of sound. Come on, Travis Scott influence again.
I think they forgot.
Man, that beat is so crazy. I love the beat on this. It's just, I don't like what Smokepurpp has done with it. Like, listen to that. Oh my god. Can we just get a beat tape? I just want this to be a beat tape. Jesus. Shout out to OJ Finesse, Mike Dean, and Apex Martin for producing that track, because the beat was easily like the highlight of it. The beat was wild on that one. But again, just like track number 1, I mentioned it throughout it, it's that clear Travis Scott influence. It takes away anything unique that there could be about the song. What happened to songs like Fingers Blue? Travis Scott himself featured on that song, and Smokepurpp didn't even sound like Travis on it. I mean, there's nothing horrible with the way these songs sound, but it's not a unique sounding project at all so far. So next on the album, we have track number 3, Stevie. Like I said, I've heard this one, and I basically just felt like it was a replica of DaBaby's style on this one. You know, the song starts instantly, the second the beat starts, the rapping starts, and that's not a DaBaby exclusive thing, but then even the way he's flowing just sounds like DaBaby. I will not back down on that point because I posted about it on my Twitter, that's twitter.com/CDTVProductions, and quite a few people replied saying, nah, I don't hear it. And you're all wrong. You're wrong. I'm not backing down on this point.
I had to show niggas I'm really back. They thought
And the beat too. Like, that sounds like a DaBaby beat.
Stevie.
Wonder. Like, it's catchy, but I can't look past the fact that it's basically biting from someone else.
How the fuck I got lost in my house? Let him test and he tried to
And the ad-libs. Literally everything.
They walk away with a smile. I ain't taking no plea. Up in the lamb, no reason I'm cruising. I just made a bitch on my date till she toothless. I had to show niggas I'm really back.
Yeah, as I said, that one just feels strongly influenced by DaBaby to me.
He did the same type of laugh on his ad-libs that DaBaby does.
I don't even know who Smokepurpp is as an artist at this point. I don't know what kind of sound he's trying to go for. That seems like it's been a recurring theme on this album so far, so if it keeps happening, I'm gonna have to keep bringing it up. He's got some pretty solid beats for this one, but the way he's working with them is just not appealing to me at all. But let's move on to a song that I am super excited to hear. This one dropped as a single either yesterday or a couple days ago, but I didn't listen to it because I knew I was gonna react to this project, so I waited until it dropped to do it. It's track number 4, What I Please, featuring Denzel Curry, my boy Denzel. And since they both came up off of SoundCloud, maybe we'll get a little bit of a callback on this one to Smokepurpp's SoundCloud roots with the sound.
7 days on in the club, I might freeze. How the fuck I got these bands in my jeans?
Okay, it does sound quite Comethazine-like, but we'll see where it goes.
Stop it. He gotta go, but I came with a rocket. You can say you're the bitch, look like he pocket. Fuck is so hard that she thought she gave birth.
Jesus.
I need my money, I know what I'm worth.
It sounds like something he would have had on Lost Planet, but it is kind of hard.
Every nigga try me, then they turn the Armageddon out. Stop a nigga out like he had a foot fetish. The money is a debit or the credit, but either way you go,
God.
you make letters. Because I really want to stock home like a nigga talk about Sweden. Like the Republic, I stay with a check. Shaking head bitches be breaking they neck.
He's coming in with the country wordplay on here. Denzel's verse on this was great. So far we've got track 1, Travis Scott, track 2, Travis Scott, track 3, DaBaby, track 4, Comethazine. But I'm gonna give this one a pass because it was a really hard song and I enjoyed it. And Denzel Curry's verse on this, Denzel had the best verse on this easily. He was coming in with the country wordplay, and then he even used some of the slang from other countries. If I'm in London, I might hit a sket. That was actually great. Denzel's verse was just stacked with wordplay. The flows were really nice on it, really some nice fast flows. Denzel was my favorite part of the track, but you know what? Smokepurpp was pretty nice on here too. Even though I could compare him to another artist, he still at least came with some energy on this song and he sounded hyped up. I'll give him a W for that. So let's move on to the next one on the project, track number 5, Arriba. Where's the Gunna feature? This is a Gunna type of beat. Smokepurpp, man, just sound like yourself. This is Playboy Carti, and I don't even like Playboy Carti, so he's ripping off a sound that I don't even like.
Why don't I hear you get popped like a ollie? That gun in elementary. No one but water, I ain't talking about flick. Diamonds on my body, got new money on my wrist. Rockin' that bitch and that pussy real sticky. You bitch
Sticky?
Top on go where this whole block come. You're not slantin', you definitely not set, huh?
Yeah, I was not feeling that one at all. He had the really high-pitched kind of baby voice that Playboy Carti typically has. It had a very broken up flow where there was an ad-lib after each line. The verse was different. He still kind of kept the baby voice delivery for the verse, but the flow was very different to what you typically hear Carti use, so I guess that's a small plus. But I still didn't really like how it sounded overall. I really just hate these baby voice vocals, man. Beat was kind of cool, but again, just like everything else on this project, the beat was pretty much the only highlight. It just feels like Smokepurpp has no, like, identity on this so far. Track number 6, All For Me, featuring Trippie Redd. Apparently this is a song that was already on A Love Letter to You 4, which I haven't heard yet, but I clicked on the song on Genius and it took me to Trippie Redd's album. So this is just a song from another project, I guess. Surely it's gonna sound out of place if this is something that was on Trippie's project.
I love you, bitch, you in the finer things. I'm sitting back, Cardi, yeah, bitch, I'm in designer friends. And then I'm trying to play me. Baby, your love is just all for me. Shawty, go get the money and bring it back to me. Said she tired of lanes, I put her on some game. Throwing rules that she wants, sex is like the shower today. I love and murder, man, what you doing for me?
This one doesn't really stand out, to be honest. That song was just kind of happened under 2 minutes, and it just kind of sounded like something that could have been on Trippie Redd's exclamation mark project, with them singing over these almost classy sounding piano beats. Smokepurpp's autotune to me didn't sound that great on this song. I couldn't necessarily pin down him sounding like anyone else, which is good, but the song itself was just like whatever. I do think it's weird as well that it was on Trippie's project, but it just kind of randomly got put on Smokepurpp's project as well. Like, that definitely feels like much more of a Trippie Redd song than a Smokepurpp song. This project has just kind of been all over the place so far. It's got variety, I guess, but the variety just, it feels so random. So let's go on to track number 7, Past the Moon Interlude. And I'm assuming that's maybe a reference to a song To the Moon, which was on the first Deadstar project. Oh yeah, it's got similar vocals like he had on To the Moon. That's cool. Man, some of the production on this is so nice. Is this all we're getting? Is it just going to be Smokepurpp essentially moaning in auto-tune over this beat now? Why is this so well produced? It's another one with that outer space feel. There wasn't a whole lot to that track, but it was okay. Again, the main highlight was that outer space atmospheric beat. Every track that's had production from Mike Dean on it on this project has been wild. This interlude was longer than the previous song, but there was a lot less to this one somehow. You know, it just had a chorus, and then in between the chorus, it just had Smokepurpp basically humming in autotune, and that was it. The chorus was okay. The best part was when he said I can see past the moon and went into those super high-pitched vocals. That sounded nice. But the rest of it it sounded a little bit off. I don't know why. So let's move on to the next song. Track number 8. We're just about halfway through this project already. It's called Lightspeed. You know I'm not feeling it when I'm not doing my offbeat head bobs to it. That was hands down like the worst track on this project so far. What was happening there? It sounded like the tone like he was going for with his vocals, like the auto-tune or whatever, just didn't match the beat at all. The beat had this very kind of dark, like vibrating sound to it. It was very low. But then Smokepurpp was doing that baby voice delivery again, and it just did not fit in amongst this instrumental. Where is this? What is this? This project feels just so... It doesn't feel cohesive. It doesn't feel cohesive at all. Like, there's some tracks that fit together, like The Matrix, Red Bottoms, Past the Moon Interlude. Like, instrumentally, those all have like a similar theme, but it just feels like there's just random stuff thrown onto this. I don't know what this is going for. Let's move on to the next one. Track number 9, Fill the Room Up, featuring Dolla. I need something to revive me after that last song. I'm gonna sneeze, and it's gonna be the most exciting thing about this song. Oh no, it's not coming. It's not happening. Never mind. Okay. Dolla can do no wrong on features, man. Wait, you have Dolla. Why is he not doing the chorus? The best thing about that was definitely the Dolla verse. Dolla, he never has a bad feature. I've never been a big fan of his solo music, but on features, he kills everything, and this was the same. It wasn't anything too crazy, just a nice little melodic verse, but it worked. As for Smokepurpp, I just don't know what he's doing on here. I feel lost. All the songs on this are really short, and that was like 2.5 minutes long, but it still just felt like so boring. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Track number 10, Reckless, and this is another one that's under 2 minutes long. I just put the bitch on Molly. Candy paint color in red with nobody. Okay. One step I'm solid. Still with a chop, I ain't talking about hard. I love the Doman's beats. They sound so good. I just put the perk in a broad in a pot. Put a bullet in the nigga, treat his ass like a socket. I got these hoes all in here in my pocket. This is what I needed. The album needed an energy boost, and thank God we got it. Okay. I actually can't complain about that one being so short. That's a song that was like the perfect length, honestly. This didn't need to be longer than 2 minutes. D.A. Doman's always making great beats, man. He's just made a lot of crazy beats, super catchy, and this one is no different. This is definitely a lot harder than most of the beats I've heard from, but it was really great, and Smokepurpp came in with the energy on this one. He sounded hyped up, the flows were very quick, there wasn't a lot of space between the lines. The track didn't really have a lot of room to breathe. It just came in, went right through, under 2 minutes, and it's done. And that was perfect. That's what the album needed after those last couple of tracks, or like those last 3 tracks. This has been the best song since What I Please, for sure. Really good song and a well-needed boost on this album. So let's move on to the next song, track number 11. Like I said, I have heard this one. Again, Smokepurpp does sound quite a bit like Travis Scott on it, but it's a very catchy song, so I'll give it a pass. It's a Dirty Dirty featuring Lil Skies, and Lil Skies is great on it. Transition is so smooth. It is a bop. You know what? I like this song a lot. It's fun. And here we got some straight bars from Smokepurpp. Don't get out of pocket. Stay inside your pocket. In the club pocket watching. Those pocket bars. Amazing. Oh god, the next song is 4 minutes. But while we're on the topic of Dirty Dirty, I enjoy it. It's got a lot of replay value to it, and I definitely think it's probably going to be like one of Smokepurpp's biggest songs in a while, because it is really catchy and it has a great instrumental to it. Lil Skies has a really nice verse on it. The chorus is catchy and memorable. Pretty good song, and definitely up to this point, again, that's one of the better ones on here. Like, it's an enjoyable song, despite the fact that I do feel like Smokepurpp sounds a bit like Travis Scott on it. Everything from here on out is new to me, so let's move on to track number 12. A 4-minute long song, the first 4-minute long song on this project. Floor Seats Yet. Bosky. It's just, even his voice, the way he's talking sounds like Comethazine. It triggers me so much. I apologize if my energy levels have significantly dipped from the start of this reaction. Can't help it. Okay, it was one of those sudden switches. I know you felt that. That was a decent line. That was kind of funny. Okay, so we basically got 2 songs in one there. There was Floor Seats and Yet. I preferred Yet, but I didn't think either of them were that great. The beat on Yet, definitely it sounded a bit more like Smokepurpp's older style. Like, that sounds like a beat you might have heard on the first Deadstar project, which was cool. It did feel a bit more like his own style. The first part, Floor Seats, that was just straight up Comethazine, so there was really nothing to note on that one. It was okay, but at this point in the album, the last thing I need is more low-key tracks. If I do listen to this one again, I'll most likely just be skipping right over Floor Seats and going straight to Yet. Track number 13. I am kind of excited for this one because these two people usually do make quite nice songs together. It should have a nice bit of energy to it. Left Right featuring Lil Pump.
Left and right, left and right, left and right. Ice on ice, ice on ice, ice on ice. On my jury, no security, I ain't got no worry. Left and right, bitches chasing me like Tom and Jerry. Per 10, per 30, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy.
Oh yeah, I forgot they dropped that song.
Look at my wrist, wrist McFlurry. F and N, hey, extended that bitch, it's on the 30. Bitch, I'm a dog, I'm a blue nose. Shot the little nigga, them blended on show hoes. I got no plates, only guns in the kitchen. My nigga savage, he bullets like chicken. Thick ass, left and right, left and right.
I don't even know at this point. My brain is like checked out of this project already, to be honest. But that song was fairly good, I guess. Maybe it's one that I would enjoy if it was earlier on the project, or if it's one that I listened to on its own. It's definitely not the best song that Smokepurpp and Lil Pump have together. I probably prefer their song I Own, which was on Lil Pump's project. And that song that Lil Pump reminded me of on here when he said the Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy line. They dropped that Hardy Boys freestyle or whatever it was called, or Hardy Brothers freestyle. That was like so good. I really like that song. Lil Pump saying that just reminded me of a better song that these two guys have done together. Let's move on to track number 14. We've got 4 more left. On Purpose. You get it? Because it's his name. Purpp. P-U-R-P-P. Let's go. Man, it's another case of a really nice beat, but Purpp's vocals are just, they're ruining it. You're ruining it. Okay, the beat slaps though, the beat slaps. I'm coming back to life. Ooh. Those little strings at the end, that was nice. Great production again. Smokepurpp has picked amazing beats throughout this project, but it's his vocals that just do not mesh with these beats, or they just are boring. All these problems. On this one, it was just that the vocals didn't mesh with the beat at all. It was so high-pitched and it just felt like it was a bit too much. The instrumental already had a lot going for it. You could chill out a bit more with your vocals on this one. This sounds kind of harsh, but this album would absolutely slap as a beat tape. Let's move on. Third last one. Track number 15, Robin Robin. Some jazzy stuff, okay.
I remember the days when I was Robin. I just got the Maybach cause I went and crashed the band. Fucking on this bitch, I thought I'd probably fuck a friend. I was dreaming about these other things. Yeah. I hope my karma don't catch up to
The content on this one is actually quite nice. I think this is like the first song on the project where I've actually really noticed the lyrics. Okay, that one actually, it started growing on me as it went on. This is one of the better ones on here. I'll give Smokepurpp credit for that. Can't be too mad at that one, and like I said, it did grow on me as it went on. And it's one of the only tracks on here where the lyrical content has actually kind of stood out to me. It's got that whole message of I used to have nothing and now I've got a lot, and he actually has some pretty nice lines about it. Easily one of the better tracks on here. It was nice to at least get another one that I kind of liked before the end of the project. So, let's move on to the second last track on Deadstar 2, track number 16, Pop 1. Featuring Moneybagg Yo.
Pop one, pop left cheek, pop right cheek. Lambo truck, I know.
Beat is nice.
Pop, go crazy. Go up a ball, 80. Drop a sink, Sadie. She eat dick, her teeth hurt. Pop
Her
one,
teeth?
pop left cheek, pop right cheek.
What kind of head are you getting if her teeth hurt, Smokepurpp?
Simulating like I'm stopped up. Smoking on runs at the pop up. Lately I've been dealing with a stop. If I don't text back, she pop up.
Yeah, it was... Yeah. Nah. I kind of liked it at first. This is like the opposite of the last track. This one just grew off of me the more it went on. Moneybagg Yo was kind of cool. Moneybagg Yo's had some decent features recently. I haven't listened to any of his solo stuff, but he had a nice feature on the Baby's album on Toes, and his feature here was pretty decent too. But again, it's another one where like the feature and the beat was the most interesting thing to me. It's just the same old story for Deadstar 2. Track number 17. We have reached the last one on Deadstar 2. We're finally here. We're finally at the end. And we have a sequel to a track from the original Deadstar project. It's Audi 2. Okay, it's different sound on this beat already.
Oh my god, Ronnie. I need a bad fuck a bitch, smoking biscotti and
God.
cookies. Buy me a bad fuck a bird, here on the cooch. I don't need hoes, I need bags. I had the bank pull a milli out cash. I do that shit just to brag. I love the flex on my exes and laugh. Face, I wanted it naughty, but they bought it straight. I need a bad fuck a bitch.
Okay. And there we go, that's the end of Deadstar 2 by Smokepurpp. Audi 2, you know, it was definitely, again, one of the better tracks on this project. I like how this one was actually a direct reference back to the original Deadstar project. This definitely stands on its own as its own song, which is good. It's not the exact same thing as the original, and it had a bit of a different twist on the first one. On the first one, he said, I don't want friends, I want Audis. And then on this song, he said, I wanted an Audi, but then bought a Wraith. So it's a little bit of a different spin on the idea too, which is cool. You can basically see the change in his bank account between that song and this song. Hard ass 808s from Ronnie J, because he always just has ridiculously hard 808s. That was a hard one, and a nice closer to the project. At least we closed it on one of the better songs. So, let's just go into my overall thoughts on Deadstar 2 by Smokepurpp. Yeah, this definitely didn't change how I feel about his music and him as an artist. This project just felt really kind of scattered and confused, and like it didn't even know what sound it was trying to go for. At this point in his career, like, I'm still really struggling to pinpoint what Smokepurpp's unique sound is, because I don't really feel like he has one. Audi 2, like, that was a track that was kind of closer to what I'd expect to hear from him. You know, there's a little bit more uniqueness to a track like that, but then you just have a bunch of Travis Scott imitations or Comethazine imitations. Like, there's so many tracks on this project where he sounded like someone else. What is it that makes Smokepurpp right now? I don't know. So yeah, real quick, let's go through my favorite tracks and my least favorite tracks from this project. The best ones on here, What I Please, that was a good one. Reckless, Dirty Dirty, maybe Robin Robin and Audi 2. Yeah, I'd say those were the best ones on here, and even then I didn't love all of those songs, but they were the best ones on this project. As for my least favorite tracks on this one, Arriba, Lightspeed, I think, Floor Seats and Yet, probably like Pop One. I genuinely can't remember what so much of this sounds like. These songs are, to me personally, incredibly forgettable. But yeah, this is a project that's really not gonna stick with me, and I think it might be up there with the worst albums of 2019 for me. And that's a shame to say, because like I said, in 2017 or 2018, whenever it was that I first listened to Smokepurpp, I did think he had a lot of potential, and I was like, okay, he's kind of, he sometimes experiments a little bit with autotune, but he's got some harder songs too. I could really see him going somewhere and fleshing out his own sound, but instead he's just used the access he has to higher production value now to just sound like other artists. Like I said, the beats throughout this project, the beats all slap throughout this. The Matrix had a crazy beat. Stevie had quite a good beat. Past the Moon, the production on Past the Moon was ridiculous. That should have been fleshed out into a full song. There's so many phenomenal beats throughout this, but I just feel like Smokepurpp is the issue with this album. There's some moments on here that kind of call back to his old SoundCloud sound. Like I said, Audi 2 does sound a bit more like SoundCloud Smokepurpp. Left Right, I guess. Reckless, which was one of the better tracks on here. What I Please. You know, those were pretty good songs that did call back to that older style he had, but other than that, it just feels all over the place. This wasn't a good project in my opinion, like at all. And I don't really have much else to say about it, because it basically boils down to really good beats, not good rapping, not good vocals. That sucks, but at the end of the day, that's just how I personally feel about it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for Deadstar 2 by Smokepurpp. Not a fan at all, but what did you guys think of this project? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite songs and least favorite songs were from the project. Do you think I'm wrong with some of the comparisons I made in this video? Because I think they were all pretty accurate, but that's just the way I'm hearing it. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate you leaving a like, subscribing if you want to see more reactions like this coming up soon. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. This is CDTVThaG, signing out.